YouTube, I'm back. Hello. Until I get a whiteboard, we will be rocking the notepad. Okay, so notes will be consulted through this until I become like every other white man on the internet and get a whiteboard. So until then, notepad. How to be a young manager. Okay. For reference, I am 22, be 23 soonish. And I am a general manager of a gym. So just know that a lot of the biases in this do come from the gym and fitness industry because that's what I know, that's what I've been raised in. I've been through several management positions within the gym. I am now at my highest level of management position within my current gym. I work for Gold's Gym if anybody cares. Okay, there you go. But how to be a young manager. I feel like when you are young, regardless of how confident you are, I have never really been accused of being at a lack of confidence, okay? There is some degree of unsureness, insecurity going into leadership positions because we, as a human society, have been taught that leadership and wisdom comes with age and time. And I would agree generally, yes. However, if you are somebody who is young, who has put yourself out there, tried a lot of things, is working to develop a lot of skills, you are growing that wisdom at a probably more rapid rate than your typical young adult. Let's talk like we're all young adults, but typical person, right? Because we can all think of crazy Uncle Larry, who's an absolute moron, and he's in his 50s, right? We also all have the prodigy family member in their early 20s, maybe even their teens, who's just figuring it out, okay? Let's put all that aside. You are young, you are a manager. How do you work around the notion that you are young and dumb? I have felt this is what I do, okay? Step number one, let's say you're brand new, you're walking into your management position. You're going to observe the team. Okay, before you make any changes, observe the team. Do not walk into your new job, your new management job, and immediately start making changes, okay? For certain industries and for certain levels of experience, maybe you've been a CFO for a gajillion years and you get hired to a new company. That's one thing. We are new to management, fresh out of college, or even fresh out of high school, fresh off the promotion, whatever. You need to observe the team that you are working with. If you've got promoted in the same building with the same team, you've just taken that next step up, cool. You should already know your key players. You should know who you can give more responsibility and who you need to coach a little bit more. But if you're brand new to a facility, to a location, to a building, you need to identify those key players, okay? In my experience, they identify themselves very quickly. If you sit there and you just watch, you will see who are doing things to a T what the job description is, who are going above and beyond what the job description is, and who are just doing enough to get by and not get fussed at really, or they get the occasional fussing, whatever. You need to observe your team and get to know what the needs of your team are. Because if you're not doing that, how can you help? If you are blind to what is happening in front of you, you cannot contribute very well, okay? It's common sense. It sounds simple when I say it. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people struggle with it, especially if you are a young, egotistical guy like myself or somebody else. I have been practicing this. These are skills that I'm trying to develop. I am not perfect, okay? You're going to learn way more by watching than by talking, because when you talk, and especially if people know if you're the new big boss, they want to impress you. They are going to say all the things that it sounds like or they think that you want to hear to make themselves sound impressive. That way you don't worry about them. Once again, in my experience, the key players are pretty straight up. They don't try to sell themselves too high. They just tell you like it is. They typically, in my experience again, are the most humble. The ones that are really trying to sell themselves, to me, is a red flag because it's a signifier that maybe there's something to hide, maybe there's something you don't want me to see, so you're hoping I will just hear this and then ignore what is in front of me. So if you have the opportunity, I encourage you to go check out where you're going to be working, if available, before people know who you are. That's what I did. I went and hit a workout in my gym. That way I could figure out who my key players were, figure out what the staff does, before they know I'm the new guy coming in, okay? And then 2, match your style to your environment, okay? This can be obviously the leadership style. The style that you dress, though, is also something that I'm thinking of here. And now you're wondering, okay, well, what does that matter? It does matter a lot, because you don't want to copy the Google search result first image, what a manager is. That's boring, that's plain. I mean, if that's you, do it. But I feel like you need to show up as you. You don't get respect by pretending to be somebody else. For instance, I am Gym Bro. I was raised in the bodybuilding, grunge, gym bro, loud music, metal, gym is awesome culture, okay? I love gym brands like Gymshark, Young LA, insert blank, Dark Sport, whatever it may be. I like that kind of hype beast gym bro look, those kinds of companies, because to me, that's just cool. That's just the vibe that I like. So when I show up to work, I'm wearing the company t-shirt, nice, good athletic fit that kind of makes me look jacked. And then I'm usually wearing Gymshark shorts, pants, hoodie maybe if it's a cold day. Like, that's the type of look that I want to go for. Within the same company, at the next location down the road, a good friend of mine who manages that one shows up in nice pants, tucks in his company t-shirt, wears a belt. But that's his vibe. He's very professional, he's very clean cut. That's what he wants to bring to the gym as a manager. You've got to manage to what your style is. If you are trying to go outside of who you are, you're going to feel uncomfortable and you are going to be unsure and unsteady as a leader, okay? If you come into this role with confidence, that will make things a lot better. Not arrogance, confidence. Confidence is earned, arrogance is just made up, essentially. Let's get into team dynamics a little bit more, okay? So what have we done? We've shown up, we've been observing, we know who our key players are, we know who maybe we expect to be some turnover and some churn, because that's another thing to expect. When a new manager comes in, there's always turnover, people always leave. That's why I caution making changes immediately, because there could be some really good key players that they're uncertain of new management. You lose them because you start making bad changes off the bat without knowing the business, without knowing the people, okay? After you've observed and you know what's going on and you are showing up as you, not somebody else, not who you think people want you to be, but you're showing up as you, we got to start building the team, okay? Those who are going to leave have left at this point. Those who you want to stay, that like you, that are a vital part of your machine, are staying. How do we work with this, okay? One, if we are hiring new people, we need to hire for weaknesses, okay? Especially if you have like an assistant manager or some sort of, like, here's your base level employee, here's your general manager, upper manager, whatever level it is. There's some sort of middle leadership usually. Those roles are going to be the ones that you rely on a little bit more heavily, especially if you were gone, out of the facility, whatever it may be. You need to hire for your weaknesses. It's really easy to get in the thought process, and I'm very guilty of this. I need to hire people like me because I know how I want things done. I want to bring on and coach people on how I want it done so they understand it and they do it the way that I want. Having a full team of you means that the glaring weaknesses, the things that you are missing due to your biases, we all have them, are going to 2x, 3x, however many of you that you hire, that problem, those skills that you don't have become a greater and greater issue, because now you have a whole team of people that have no idea how to handle that. Hire for weaknesses, at least one person, right? My assistant manager is quite different to myself. I am a young 22-year-old man who is total gym bro, all about the gym bro life, likes things a little bit grungier. My assistant manager that I brought on is a lady who is the same age as my mom, who is a lot more focused on little niche details that I overlook, who has a lot more care for complaints and addressing those than I do. Because honestly, I'm the type of person like, oh, you don't like it, whatever, leave, I don't care. She has a lot more care and fields those feelings a lot better than I do. And then among other things, like those are some of the big glaring things. If you know that you are missing something, if you are not good at something, hire somebody that is. That is the easiest way to make your team better. I can't stress that one enough. I don't think it takes a genius to figure that out. But once again, this whole video is about common sense things that people forget all the time. Hire for your weaknesses. That way you don't have to drain yourself trying to do things that you're not good at. Because at some point you have to admit that you're not great at something, and you can develop those skills and you get better at it. But if you could just hire somebody, that allows you to focus on what you're good at. It's less draining, and you know people are going to get better training from that. So really caution that, because you want a team that complements each other, not clones each other. Okay? If you're running around with a bunch of clones, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of weird. Coach the individuals to the best of your ability, especially if you see that they are lacking in skills that you're good at. But once you get them to where they're good at what you have to teach, turn to your other management and let them do it. I don't know. I can rant about this for a while, but that's neither here nor there. The last thing that I would say is very essential to a new manager is you can't avoid the hard conversation. If anything, avoiding the hard conversations does way, way more bad than good, right? I get that you don't want to be the mean new young manager, especially if your employees are older than you. That's the position I'm in. I have one employee that's younger than me. Everybody else is older than me. In my head, the argument is, I know more than you, kid. I've been here longer. I've lived life longer. I know more things. I was nervous and still get nervous to have the more difficult conversations with people. But the fact of the matter is, having even one person in your team who is not performing up to expectations affects everybody and the business negatively. The team gets upset because somebody's not pulling their weight. The team starts to think the same way, think that the standard is lower and they can't perform well. The team starts to think that you aren't confident in your abilities, that you can't handle things. The business starts to fail because performance is dropping. The business isn't able to generate money. Oh no, now we have to give layoffs. These are very extreme examples with the layoffs especially, but those are instances that do occur from not having a difficult conversation. If somebody's not performing, I'm not saying get rid of them immediately. Sit down with them and see if you can coach them up. Figure out where the disconnect is. What are the weak points? What do they need help with? If it becomes a repeated thing, that's where you might have to have the conversation of letting somebody go. Ultimately, you are doing your team, the business, and yourself the most good by not avoiding those. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard. I get uncomfortable every single time. And I probably will continue to get uncomfortable every time. But at the very least, I get better at it with each time because I understand I am doing more good by addressing this than letting somebody carry on. Because that's the other thing too. What if they're not aware that they aren't performing up to expectations? What if they have no idea and they are upset because they're not getting enough, I don't know, let's say you're in sales jobs, you're not getting enough commissions. Well, then it hurts them too if you don't step in and help them out. Nothing good comes of it, okay? Consulting notes again. You will get more respect by being honest than trying to be nice, okay? Take time before you do all that, okay? Let's go back through the steps again, right? You need to take the time to observe the team. And I'm not talking about a day or 2 days. I'm talking about that's probably several weeks of observation. Then bring in your style, start to see where you mesh, where it doesn't mesh, figure out your key players, build the team, bring in people, start addressing the problems. Then you can't come straight in and immediately, I guess you can, but I feel like you're gonna struggle. Immediately writing people up, verbal warnings, formal warnings, going to HR. To me, that doesn't work. Learn the business, learn the team, learn who you are, how you fit in, how you want to organize, then begin having tough conversations if you need to. This is how I've approached being a manager at a young age. Not to say that it's perfect, but this is how I am working to build my team to set myself up for success going forward. Because I will admit, being a general manager at a gym is kind of entry level big boy management, if you will. It's not overly hard and difficult to manage a team at a gym. The gym team isn't super huge usually, about a dozen people, give or take, depending on how large your location is. But all these little details do matter. And why would you want to jump into tougher management without doing these basic fundamental things? I don't know. Anyways, this is my observations. This is what I'm thinking about life, how I'm approaching being a leader at a young age, and how to make myself more confident in my abilities and my team abilities. With that, peace out, everybody.